Are you looking for a Scrum Master role? Or are you already in a Scrum Master role and you would just like to become a better one? Well, how about I will tell you exactly how you can do that in the modern, very competitive job market. Stick around. Hello and welcome. My name is Dimitri from JoinAgile.com. I'm a professional Scrum Master, certified Agile trainer and coach. And I decided to start putting together these videos, training videos for anyone who is interested in transitioning into our space. And by our space, I mean Agile Delivery Space. Some people call it Agile Project Management. And I often wonder why. I think my theory is that they probably think that it's much easier for potential people who are looking to buy a book or something else to understand what project management is. And it's a little bit easier to position Scrum Mastery, iteration management, Agile coaching as specific kind of manifestations of the activities that we do in this space. It's much easier to position them in the Agile project management space. It is not to say that Agile project management doesn't exist. It exists. It just has nothing to do with this, unfortunately. So how about we will start by making you a better Scrum Master and Job Applicant by explaining that Agile project management is one thing, and what we are doing is more accurately described as Agile delivery of software or digital products. Because ultimately, we are all sort of evangelists, and we are all kind of people who are adopting Scrum, right? Scrum is a lightweight, simple to understand framework and methodology to deliver products that are based on value to the customer, incrementally, very fast. This is not a Scrum guide by any stretch of imagination. I'm not going to try and be precise in my definitions. I'm not going to try and waste your time, essentially, because you have read about this, and there is a lot of other, much better, probably presented even, guides and information, including official Scrum guide for you to learn about Scrum. So let me be very clear that probably you would be much better off if you started watching these videos or reading my book, if you already read the Scrum guide and if you have an idea of what Scrum is and what basic kind of activities Scrum Master does and what basically Scrum Master, is engaging in. We will, however, in these videos and in my book, I am specializing kind of and trying to focus you on understanding the bits and pieces that professional recruiters currently pick up on, and on those things that would make you stand out from the crowd of other people who suddenly decide to be Scrum Masters. I don't blame them. It's a good space right now to be in. A lot of companies try to invest into understanding better the iterative delivery of the products, value-based delivery of the products, as opposed to upfront definition and then dealing with the consequences later. So I don't blame a lot of people who are pivoting a little bit and who are kind of coming into this space. Hey, I've been one of them. Guess what? And that's exactly the reason I'm kind of I started this whole show, because I'm not a classroom bred educator of some sort, or a teacher or something like this. I was a developer. For many years I was a developer, but I was lucky enough to have found myself in the Agile environment. I liked what it stood for. I had very good coaches, very good people who looked after me, and essentially I developed myself. I transitioned to do space, and I experienced difficulties of applying for the jobs or even understanding why some things didn't work firsthand. And that's why I thought, well, who would be better positioned to kind of to tell you guys about this? I might as well be one of those people. And I do it for a living now, so I consult for different companies, but at the same time, I'm not a classroom consultant. I am practically actually working as a professional Scrum Master, iteration manager for a big organization, and doing reasonably well. Okay, so that's why I think we will have a lot of fun together, and I will do the best I can to explain bits and pieces to you, answer your questions. Yeah, essentially that's what we're going to be doing. All right. I mentioned the book a couple of times. Okay, so I've released the book recently called Get Hired as a Scrum Master. It is specifically about this. It is essentially talking to people who are just transitioning into the space, or perhaps who are hiring professionals that are transitioning into the space, or even to a lesser extent for those who already are experienced Scrum Masters and who have been in the space for a while but they just, like a good sportsman, I suppose, they feel like, I might as well just hear what this guy has to say, because maybe his perspective or experience was slightly different to mine, and I'll learn something. That's how I approach, for example, reading new information or dealing with people or watching their videos and stuff like that. I'm not saying that what I'm saying to you here or my experience is canon and that's it, like, that's it, I don't see it that way, and I don't think you should either. So with that little disclaimer out of the way, let's take a look specifically at what we're going to be tackling, and we will go kind of in the flow of how I put the chapters in my book as well. And you can, by the way, jump ahead and just grab a book, buy me a coffee. I will not say no to that. We will talk at the, let's start talking, I guess, in this first welcoming, kind of a bit more rambly, I suppose, video, about what challenges generally a person transitioning into our space faces. Essentially, you can transition from all sorts of industries and all sorts of activities, professional activities, fields of work that you've been doing before, right? And needless to say, I suppose, that if you have been exposed to Agile or even software delivery or even digital product delivery in some shape or form as a software engineer, as a business analyst, as a product owner, as a project manager, you would have a slightly easier time than a person who was digging trenches or was a professional sportsman and then suddenly decided to take a Scrum Mastery course, believed in the values, and decided to become one of us, essentially. Is it impossible? No. And I think it's a great thing as well. I just would openly, well, it's a Captain Obvious statement, isn't it? Those people would have a bit harder time, because for them this leap, this transitioning leap, is going to be much, much longer, bigger, however you want to call it, than for people who already were exposed to this, who already have been working with the software products, who understand the software development life cycle, who know what acceptance criteria are, and that kind of stuff. So again, in the further videos, chapters, however you want to call them, we will talk a little bit more specifically about what I would recommend as far as getting that experience that those people who are transitioning from the foreign industries that they will face. But for now, we will just kind of focus, I suppose, on the first things first, and we will assume that you have some sort of exposure to the industry and you are maybe a representative of one of those fields of work, fields of professional activity that are a little bit more transition friendly. Let's call it transition friendly. Again, in the book I have a list of what I think is the most transition friendly set of professional activities, and among those most kind of obvious ones, of course, would be software engineer, business analyst, product owner, project manager, that kind of stuff. Classic Scrum Master. Issue with current recruitment is the fact that Scrum Master roles vary in terms of how they're understood by your potential employer. So your potential employer also read the Scrum Guide, let me assure you. Okay, they have, most of them have anyway. And they understand the value of Scrum, or they understand what numerous books and other sort of training materials, whatever, what they promise them as far as the value is concerned if they do employ a Scrum Master and generally adopt an Agile methodology. And Scrum is the most popular one, whichever way you put it. Issue, however, is that a lot of those people don't understand what Scrum Master is limited to do and what kind of their perspective, most healthy perspective they should have on the development and delivery process. So they think that certain roles can be mixed into the Scrum Master role, if it makes any sense. I will be more specific in further videos, please don't get alarmed. But the issue is that when you can ask, or when the recruiter or hiring manager directly can ask you to perform a hybrid role of a business analyst and a Scrum Master, that's one thing. But when they expect you to be a project manager and Scrum Master, that's another thing altogether. Why? How? Again, we will get back to this. We will talk about this. I just can't fit it all into this intro video, otherwise you'll be there all day. So this is one of the challenges, to break that understanding barrier and also be safe on your own, in your own skin as an applicant and as applying Scrum Master, to make sure that you understand what you're getting yourself into, okay? Because you're a product, you're a product, you're selling yourself, to the potential employer, and at the same time you are a unit that will deliver some value hopefully to your employee. It's not just about selling. So for you it's very, very important to understand where your strengths lie and where essentially responsibilities that you're pursuing, which is Scrum Master responsibilities, Scrum Evangelist, Agile Evangelist responsibilities are. It's very important for you. It's as important, like getting there, getting that job is as important as saying no to a job that's not applicable, So for us, I think it's very important to develop a very good understanding and be able to spot those signs, if you like, that will point at trouble, for the lack of a better word. Because sometimes it's an immature environment where you will not be supported. It's not about the environments that are keen, they just don't know. And then you are the educator. You are the guy who does the right thing. You come there to both improve the process, but also increase the understanding and all that kind of stuff. As per Scrum Guide, as per classic understanding of what a Scrum Master is supposed to do. I'm talking, however, about a situation where you deal with opinionated project managers who hire you, but they think they know what you should be doing. And practically, from a practical perspective, I'd say you probably would do yourself a huge favor by skipping those kind of roles and moving on to other ones, applying for other ones, where you see a little bit more of understanding and welcoming nature and supported nature, as opposed to battling the beast. Not saying you can't win, I'm just saying that I recommend that you don't, because that would be better for you. As you can see, the field of this discussion, the area of discussion is huge. I deliberately kind of jumped from one to another a little bit just to give you a taste of the multitude of things that we can be discussing, and we will be discussing, make no mistake. Which is why these videos are going to be published, which is why the book is published, and which is why I think you will benefit from it by listening, learning, I guess, giving me your examples of how you guys are, what kind of difficulties, practical hands-on experience you had yourselves as job seekers, as already Scrum Masters who are trying to turn things around a little bit. I think it will be a long, interesting, hopefully very fruitful journey for both of us. Yeah, so please like the video, subscribe, grab the book, yeah, if you want to. Jump ahead. If not, just stick around, come back for another video. It will be here shortly. Thank you very much. Dimitri, signing off for now.